coming.
We're
Hello,
back.
hello, hello, hello. The
Yeah,
fearless
look
leader.
How's
out.
everyone doing?
Introduction. This is the Connor,
Yup.
the fearless leader of the project. I heard you guys want to see faces from the leaders of the project, guys. We have the man here. We're gonna see him live. We're gonna have questions for him. We're gonna do a Q&A. He's gonna clarify any doubts what you guys have in the space,
Yup.
what people need to hear to be convinced that this is the right place that you want to be. Welcome, Connor. How are you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you for having me. I was excited to do this. We finally, if you guys can't tell, we have a beautiful day outside right now. So it's like, I was like, I'm going to take this from inside. And I was like, you know what? I'm taking this outside today. So it's
Thank you
great to
so
be
much.
here with you guys. And
Thank
I'm
you
looking
so
forward to
much.
answering some questions. I know we do this, behind the spaces, if you will. But it's nice to come face to face. And I know you guys had great success with this last week. So I'm happy to be a part of it. So I'm happy that we can kick this off together and really excited for everything.
Thank you so much. Very, very welcome, Connor. A lot of
Absolutely. Our
people,
fearless leader.
yeah,
Yeah, buddy.
a lot of people
Yeah.
heard you in the spaces, of course, but a
Yeah,
lot of the community didn't saw you on the camera live on
okay.
space. So this is a new thing for the people. They see who is behind the project. They see the person behind the project. I think this is a very important moment for
Yep,
the project. So we're gonna start with a couple questions towards you, Connor, if that's fine. And after that, maybe we can involve the chat, the people, the community, to ask some
sure.
questions inside the chat. What they want to hear that you can answer for them. The first
Awesome.
question of all, what a lot of people are in doubt about, and what a lot of people want to hear, they want
Yeah,
to
man.
hear from you, Connor, after this year, or not even a year anymore, like 9 months, the 25th of January. The supply of the 76% will be not locked anymore. It will be free. Can
Yep.
you explain the people? Can you explain the community what are the plans with this amount? What will be free? Because this is a question what a lot of people want to know from you.
Yep.
Go ahead, Connor.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to. So yeah, the first thing, I want to make sure everyone understands, how is the supply locked, right? If you go into the deck screener and you look, you see this daunting wallet with 76.64% of the total supply, right? That's 764 million tokens, excuse me. And it's like, how are those locked, right? How is that actually locked? How is it someone not just gonna pull the rug out from underneath us and all that? So they actually Link actually locked this through a Streamflow contract, and what that is a 100% immutable contract where he has his public wallet
Okay.
and he took it to Streamflow. He signed this contract saying, I'm locking these tokens until January 25th, 2026 at 5 p.m. Eastern, and that nothing can happen to these tokens until then. As soon as he hit finalize, those tokens actually got sent to a separate wallet address, which is a wallet through Streamflow. It's an audited wallet through Streamflow, so it's completely immutable. And essentially, I actually reached out to Streamflow to see if we could actually unlock it ahead of time to further help secure and provide transparency to our community. I spent 30 minutes on the phone with Streamflow, and they're like, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do for you. They're locked. I'm sorry, all this. And I said, okay, fine. That actually gives us a little bit of comfort. So flash forward to January, 25th, 2026. It's like, what are we going to do, right? What is going to happen? At this token evaluation, right? It's almost $5 million. So there's multiple things that people want to do. They're like, do you want to lock them again for a year? Do you want to burn some of the supply? Do you want to give it away? Do you want to do all this? There's no perfect equation, but what we have is done the most perfect equation possible. Step one of that entire process is not what do you do with the tokens, it's how do you secure the tokens. And that alone right there is, okay, these tokens from Streamflow, when they unlocked, they don't automatically go into Link's wallet. He has to log into Streamflow. He has to hit claim, right? Once they get claimed, they're back in his possession. They're unlocked, right? If there are bad actors in this world, right, whether it's Link or someone that hacks that wallet address because it's public matter, they could, public information, they could actually go and sell that and tank everything together. So with some of our people in the inner council and the whales and the whole community, you know, people have discussed what needs to happen. Well, what we've actually done, and it's been executed, is a smart contract on the blockchain. And I know the last time we spoke about this on the Big Friday, so we're going to get it updated on the website. That hasn't been done yet, and I just want to say I apologize for that. But I can say with 100% certainty that the smart contract is in place. I will be posting it tonight so you all can see. It's a simple hyperlink, takes you to SoulScan. You can see Link's public wallet and all of that knowledge. So what the smart contract actually does is as soon as we claim those tokens from Link's wallet, they, within a nanosecond, will be transferred to a new multi-sig wallet. The multi-sig wallet that they're transferring to is not the same as our public wallet. Reason being is that we do not want to open ourselves up to being targeted for hackers. We do not want to open ourselves up for bad potential plays. But the neat thing about this is that the multi-sig wallet, the owners on them are 5 LYNK community members and 5 wallets through LYNK. So right now, LYNK is agreed as part of this agreement, right, that he wants to make sure that we don't hurt people because his reputation is also on the line, right? If we were to take those tokens and we were to get selfish and greedy and sell them, right, they were Link's tokens originally. So that's going to be his burden to bear. So he wanted to protect himself. So we came up to an agreement. So we'll have 5 wallets from the community and 5 wallets of Link. So as soon as those tokens are claimed, they get put there. Then your guys' original question, right, is what happens after that? So we have a lot of things coming our way. We have the utility beta coming out this Friday that our very own Bobby has been, no joke, been working night and day on. I'm on the East Coast and he's West Coast. When I woke up at 7 o'clock, he was still up grinding away behind his computer, and we had an early morning call together to go over everything, which was awesome. And so we have that utility coming. So then let's think about, okay, what is the longevity of utility, right? So right now our utility is staking, and staking itself is a very great thing. But for staking to be successful, right, you need a staking pool, right? If people are staking their money against a ghost wallet, there's no place for them to actually pick up the rewards after staking their Link for X amount of time. So a certain percentage of that lock supply is actually going to be transferred to a safe, once again, audited staking pool. So that'll allow, no matter, like, if you think about this in a 1-to-1 ratio, if we have let's say 24 million, we'll use round numbers, 24 million circulating supply, right? We're going to have 24 million on the back end of that to make sure that whatever anyone stakes, even though it's going to be a far less amount returned on a percentage, that we'll have enough Link there to essentially give people their rewards for staking their Link. So essentially what it's going to do is create a treasure chest for our staking utility. So right now, when we launch this beta, I haven't asked anyone else, but I'm actually going to take my own personal Link and I'm going to be putting this into the staking pool. So I'm going to put my Link into the staking pool. This is also going to show you guys that we're real about this, that this isn't no BS or anything like that. And we're going to do a beta test for a month regarding this and show you guys, you know, how serious we are about this. So to answer your original question, the staking, you know, that's part 1, right? Part 2 of what's going to happen with this locked reward is that the people have worked their butt off night and day. I mean, today is day 50. I think I checked on the calendar. Today is day 50 of people not eating 3 meals a day, not sleeping 8 hours a night, not being a good person to their family, not being a good boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, right? Doesn't matter. People have not been able to live their normal lives because of the commitment that this community has done, right? So just like we did a community reward that we've already, agreed we're giving 3 million to any of the holders starting back in 2 weeks ago, we're going to set a certain aside a percentage for those community members, those council members, those smaller holders, big holders. We want to give everyone some reward to look forward to for holding after a year. So in our grand scheme of things, we're going to put tokens away for staking your utility purchases. We're going to give not only members, but council members, whales, dolphins, etc., opportunity to achieve more rewards. We're going to put some aside to say thank you for Link for giving us this opportunity in the first place. And then really, when it comes down to it, right, we're going to also need tokens for exchanges, right? Let's say we get listed on Kraken. Let's say we get listed on crypto.com. Let's say we get listed on Coinbase. They're going to need a lot of link to make sure that they can actually do these transactions, right? If we're going to need to fork up a couple percent, and a couple percent, right? 1% is 10 million link. So if we're not forfeiting, but we're providing them, 5%, that's 50 million link for people to come buy and sell, right? And we all know in our chart, right, that there's not even 5% left. So if we give that to them and enter that into the circulating supply or the remaining supply, it's going to give our community the opportunity to grow and reach a much bigger environment and grow that much more. So to answer your question, what happens with the lock supply? We have 5 different answers, right? We're gonna hit all of those categories, and we're gonna make sure that first and foremost, before we use it for anything, that it's gonna make it to the multi-sig in a safe and manner. And I have actually paid a professional developer in the United States through a company that is backed not only by laws and regulations, but by insurance policies for themselves, that these developers do not last a nanosecond longer on this website if they're liars. We went for essentially the top of the top guy. He's worked with us over the course of a few weeks to make sure that it's immutable, to make sure that I can get to the multi-sig without any hiccups. It'll get to the multi-sig as fast as humanly possible, and that we will make sure that those tokens are secured in that fashion. So that's essentially, a long answer for, everything that, that's really going to happen with these lock supply.
That sounds like a very nice answer. I think that's the answer what a lot of people like to know, where they have a doubt from. Other question what I lot see in the community, Connor. They like what is needed at this moment of time. For example, that the chart is a little bit struggling. What do you think that's really at this moment it's needed that the price it will go a little bit more up from the price what it's now? What do you think that need to be done to increase this?
Yeah, so I think everyone, first of all, before we dive into what needs to be done, let's remember the reason why this has been such a fun project, right? One of the main aspects is the tokenomics, right? The tokenomics of this project has made this very enticing for a lot of people that come by. Reason being that if we have our 76.64% locked away, right, we have roughly 22% of the circulating supply eaten up, and we're down to roughly 2% of the remaining supply left available. It doesn't create much to get this token working in a positive or negative direction, right? So what that does is it creates a certain level of volatility. So for us to get back to a point of, hey, we're doing great and things like that, it's really not going to take that much fiat for us to get back to that point. And I think a lot of people really need to kind of take that and understand that deeper, right? If you take $100 on a coin that has 50% of the token that is locked up or either owned by community members, and you put in $100, it's going to move just a smidge, right? But since we're down to 2%, and we have 18 to 20% eaten up and 76 locked up, $100 does a pretty big tick, right? So it doesn't take much for us. So in our conversations late night, when we're saying, hey, how are we gonna get this thing back on track? How are we gonna do what we need to do? It's a combination of things, right? In this crypto world, people succeed for two reasons mainly. First reason, right, is some sort of strong utility, right? We are working on the phase 1 of that 10-phase plan, right? This Lynk, right? Not only is Lynk sick, right? Just look at the logo, look at the name Lynk, the usability of that word and the excitement that it brings this community is its own being, right? But if we take this utility, right, we develop a good beta staking app, then we grow it into more than a staking app, which I can't give too much away in this call. And then we take it to the next step, which I'm very excited for. It's going to give people not just a reason, oh, hey, look, I'm going to make money on a meme coin, right? We're going to upgrade from a meme coin. And I think that's something that, we made our decision a long time ago. When we decided that we wanted to put a professional brand together, when we decided we wanted to make us look legit, we decided that we wanted to upgrade from that meme coin. And that right there is a really important thing. So once we get the utility, right, we're days away from the utility starting, right? We were 50 days in, we were meme coin, we developed a strong community, which I'll get to in a second. Now we're entering this phase of utility. And once we start that, our doors are literally like there's infinite doors surrounding us, right? We can take this thing in whatever way we are. We could start with some, plan A and then have plan B, C, D, E, and include all of those plans together. We're not limited because Web3 in itself on the Solana network, you can literally accomplish almost anything, right? If it's feasible, it can be done, and programmers find out quick, which is really exciting. The second thing about our community that makes it so great is that we, no joke, have a very strong culty community. And you hear that a lot, you hear these communities that are like, you're like link, 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 or whatever it is, right? They have the strength in the core group of, we have 50 people in the raid channel. We have like 45 people in the art channel, right? Our Telegram reset less than a week ago. We're already up to 400 plus people, right? So the people who are involved with Lynk love Lynk and they believe in Lynk. So to answer your question on what's going to get us back up and going, I think one of the biggest things is going to be, the launch of this utility. It's showing people that we mean business, right? That we're not pulling your leg. We're not trying to, pump and dump this, because people are like, oh, hackers, this and that. And so you got to realize, like, people are, no joke, devoting their lives, their nights and days to this coin, and they believe in this coin, right? If someone was going to hack or pump and dump at this point, like they're in the rear view mirror, right? They're not in the car or not in the bus with us anymore. I also love that meme that the artist put together, by the way.
That's
So
great.
it's not going to take much for us, but I'm really excited because the utility aspect of this coin in this app, right? It's going to start web based and then grow from there. It's gonna give us purpose. It's going to give us reason, and then that's the point where we're saying, hey, we have this inner circle of these linkers, right? That are super neat, and then we have this outer circle of linkers that are kind of curious about what's going on this inner circle, and then you have another circle, right? So essentially, as cool as we can make the inner circle, more people are going to want to grow into that inner circle, and it's going to grow, and then that'll expand the outer circle and the outer circle after that. And I think that's a really big point that a lot of people need to understand. It's like, the chart's going to do what it's going to do, right? The market is in shambles right now. If you look at Solana for the past 30 days, people are like, holy crap, that's insane. Like we are, it's a dumpster fire in the main crypto world. So I think our biggest strengths right now, our number one strength without question is our community. We have the strongest community. We have the best community. And I think a lot of people know that.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, Connor. Other question, what I like to know from you, how much love do you have for this project? Where do you want, in a realistic way, really what you have in your mind and in your heart? Where do you want to bring this project, Connor? How do you see this in front of you realistically? Do you see this project Link really, for example, coming in the top 100 and competing with the top names in the cryptocurrency and being a real name, or is it a little bit less than that? How much love do you have for this project? How much do you want to give for it?
So I think love and goals are two separate things. And I think right there you kind of asked me what my love is for this project and what my goals are for this project.
Exactly.
Right. And I think love, right, is infinite. I love everything about what we're doing here and the people that are involved, but I'm also not going to blow smoke up your butt, right? There's been some tough conversations, right? I've spent hours of my day working with people who then decided to, I turn around, they stab me in the back, right? Along with the rest of the community from their bad actions, right? So my love for this community is shown through my endurance. And I think that's the greatest way to put it. I don't care what happens. I really don't. Like in regards to bad things happen, like adversity, I tell everyone I am emotionless. I do not care. If there's a problem, that you're fine, entitled to your feelings. But when that problem is settled, it's time to look forward to a solution. And I think our strength is rallying with one another, right? Our love for one another shows through our endurance, because everyone knows that, anyone who knows has been here since day one. We've been through some serious BS, right? It's been people crashing out. We've had hackers, right? We've had a constant battle with other communities. And, the love for this community from myself is truly something that has grown more than what I realized, right? People are like, hey, like, are you sure you believe in this? Are you sure this is the real deal? It's like, guys, like I do, if there's something that, that I have decided this year is that I wanted to do something bigger than myself, and I'm venturing into uncharted territories myself, right? I'm doing this with people that I have never met in real life. I do have some family and friends in this project. That's another source of motivation, but it's not my main. Um, I'm working with people I've never met face to face who also have the same beliefs and the same strength and belief in this project, and that alone gives me even more love than myself. Right? It takes one, one person can love, but if you have multiple people that believe enough and have a strong enough love and passion for something, that's when you see everything. That's when you see the real image behind all of this stuff. And I think that alone is something that a lot of people really gravitated towards with one another. And I think that, through time and time again, we've proven ourselves just strong. We're just a relentless group. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people, take for granted. They wake up and they might see a chart and they might get scared. But what I do is, referencing a chart is like, okay, like, I see that. I'm like, all right, how can I make people comfortable? How can I do better? How can we do better together? What can we do? Right. And I think it's a big thing for all of us to really, grasp to is, the strength is in love is right in the community, right? It's not about a chart, right? A new source of strength is going to be this utility. But moving on to the goals part, I think that this is a marathon, right? I think in the first 7 days we sprinted and we did a very good job. We took it from 3 million market cap up to 72 million market cap in seven days. That's a 24x, and that pump lasted for 13 hours. Right? That's not normal, right? A pump and dump, right? If you look on the hour chart, is pump and then you dump. This was organic growth, right? So my goals for this project, I'm going to take it in phases, right? Do I see myself being on a tier 1 exchange? Well, we are in Bitmart, but a true, I know it's a
tier
very
one
high.
it's like Binance or
Yeah,
Bitcoin
yeah.
something like
Yeah,
this.
I know. Yeah, I know we're on Bitmart. I know it's a very nice tier 2. But do I
It's a
see
very nice
myself
tier
getting?
two.
Yeah. Do I see myself getting on Coinbase or Kraken or things like that in the future? Yeah, I see it as a real possibility. And
Okay.
it's truly because of the work ethic that we see, behind the scenes and getting things done, right? If we don't have an answer to something, we're going to go find it. And that's really
Perfect.
the kind of people you have behind this project. So I think it's a marathon. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. It could, but you never know, right? So I'm being realistic. I don't want to promise the moon, but I think it's possible in the future that we can get to a point where we can be listed on some sort of tier 1 exchange.
That's like I think what a lot of people like to hear. What you just told. I think that's great words, Connor. I want to ask to Willie if he has a question. If Willie don't have a question, maybe we can do a Q&A. What we promised to the chat, to the community,
Sure.
if they can ask some questions directly to you. Because you are now live, and I heard a lot of times in the spaces, for example, that people wanted to ask you directly questions in some live show. So I don't know if you
Sure.
really want to ask something. If not, we can ask the chat if they have some questions. The chat, if you have some questions, please ask your questions so we can so Connor can answer them.
And for me, I appreciate it. I don't really have anything for Connor. I wish I had something better for you, but I'm just really excited to be here. Because this is like that personal connection that we haven't gotten yet. So I'm interested to hear from our viewers what kind of questions they have. But I'm just excited to be here. I don't have any questions right at the moment.
I'm gonna contact the thing if the chat everything is right, because maybe let's see if there is everything is good. Where is my hoodie, Connor? It's the first question.
the hoodies are in progress. I think this is a good thing to answer, because in my mind, right, there's everyone in their own world is accustomed to certain things, right? We're blessed with Amazon now, which is, hey, it's 10 a.m. I need this by 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. and it'll be there same day, right? So
Okay.
the way we organized the hoodies was through a supplier that T7 was nice enough to, right? He went to no joke, a supplier in Dubai. He drove almost an hour from his house, right? The way we set this up right, we gave them a design, we gave them the shipping, everything like that. And once we agreed on that design, then we were able to say, okay, we have a product now. Once we have this product, it was time to come to the community and see who wanted to be with that product, right? And how we did that to make sure that T7 didn't have to extend himself, right? And this is the God's honest truth, is that we do a pre-sale. So what happens is we opened it up for that 2-day or 3-day period, right? We took all the orders in, we compiled all the orders, we got the giveaway people, their sizes and their addresses. We added that to the order, and then we gave that to the suppliers, right? So then the suppliers have a new fresh order that they just got with, no hoodies pre-made. They are going to make them all, right? They're going to do logistics on where, because these shipped worldwide, don't forget, right? We're going to figure out where they all need to go. And then they're going to figure out logistics of how they're going to get them there in the most reasonable way possible. And
Right.
what we're going to do essentially is, like, let's take America, for example, right? We're actually going to take all those, they're going to ship to one central location like a normal shipping thing would. And from there, right, they're going to get delivered to everyone's house. So I'm happy to work on an exact time frame, but when pre-sales like this happen, it does take like a week or so. But rest be assured, they are on the way. We don't have any issues on that front at
Perfect.
all, which I'm happy about. And
Perfect.
for exclusive drops, this is normal. For example, I have a keyboard, right, that I had a code, a Founders Edition code from 2023. The drop happened in January of this year, so 2025. And I sent them an email because I got my confirmation number. I said, hey, when's this going to ship? They told me June. So it's like, hey guys, like that's a pretty long time from spending this amount of money to getting my product. So we're going to beat those lead times by a bunch, right? But I just want everyone to understand we're not Nike.com, right?
Okay.
We're a new community. We did this in a pre-sale manner. The guys, they're actually
Acceptable.
manufacturing the hoodies right now, and then from there it goes to logistics. And we'll
Very,
give you
very
guys updates too.
okay. Very acceptable, Connor. So Alex Ninja, you have the answer of your questions. Anybody else that order a hoodie, they are really, really hard working behind the scenes for sending these hoodies. So no worries, it will arrive. So the next question from Crypto Inner Storm. He asked Connor, he asked, who is on the inner council? There is a little bit doubt about who is the inner council. Is this a
Sure.
mystery, people, or can you tell us who is the inner council?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So as you guys know, we've had some people that were, listed on the inner council. And just a few days ago, I noticed that one of the tabs on the website is not up to date. So Jordan and I actually talked about that. So in regards to the inner council, right, you guys have me, right? You have T7, you have Jordan, you have Monster, you have Blockchain, your guys' favorite frog. And then you have some people that are also just kind of out of that circle. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone right now. I mean, Willie is, I would say, our newest addition, right? Being as part of the community manager, right? Willie, him and I had a great conversation last week. And I want to take this opportunity to actually talk about this too. Willie and I had a great conversation last week. Willie is like, hey man, listen, I really love this project. I love what you guys are doing. Like, I want to help you guys succeed. And him and I had a long talk about how he could and this and that. So Willie is actually and I'm happy to announce, I know it's been announced, but our new community manager. So Willie's going to be involved in that inner council as well. So essentially those people I just listed are our inner council right now. I will say there are some people kind of like on the outer rims who want to be supportive, but have actually opted out of being in the inner council just because they don't have the time and ability to commit that much, because it is no joke, guys. I'm like I rushed through my door and I'm on the East Coast, so I was told 5:45 I was supposed to be here. I walked through my door at 5:43 and got my laptop and got to my back deck as fast as possible. I was like, it's a huge time commitment, balancing real business, family, life, religion, all those things, right? So there are a few people outside of the inner circle who are involved with strategic manners, but may not actually know all the nitty gritty details because those phone calls are quite lengthy, if you will.
And the multi-sig wallets are this the same people that will have the multi-sig wallet accesses, or are they different people, or you cannot announce that yet? Is this a private thing, or do you want to make it publicly later, or how is this thing going?
So in the multi-sig wallet, right, we are going to have 5 separate people in that wallet. So it's not, Blink has 5 wallets and I have 5 wallets, right? So it's going to be 5 people. For the time being, I'm going to, it's not essentially perfected right now to be set up where I can share that. It's not to hide anyone or things like that. There's just some logistical things on the back end that we're fine tuning. But essentially, you will have the most trusted people. I would not put someone on this wallet if I did not trust them with my life. And that's the God's honest truth to that,
Perfect.
too.
Perfect.
This is the single-handedly most important step to our existence and the longevity of our token. I would not put that risk at all with anyone if I did not trust them with my own life.
Perfect. I think you had a perfect answer for Crypto and Storm for this answer. So everybody knows now who's the inner council, and everybody knows what's going to happen with the multi-sig wallets. So that will be public in the future, and the names will be public. So that's out the road. The next question from Akko: do we have any plans for marketing, getting Link more in the eyes at this moment of time?
Yep, we do. So with Willie being onboarded last week, this is something that he's really wanted to jump on. There's also been a few community members that have actually reached out to me. One did today. Your very own Deckhand. He actually brought to me an AI program that another crypto community was using that he found quite successful. So we're going to look into that. I believe he may have sent it to Willie or Monster. But these are things that are, it's like an ever living, evolving beast, right? We're doing things here and then something else comes up. So we do have things right now that are in the hopper regarding marketing and getting people out. The biggest thing for us right now is getting this utility out Friday. Once we have some sort of utility, we are essentially upgrading ourselves into a new era, right? So that alone is going to be a great bit. But now that we have that success of upcoming utility, then we can now market it. So it's all kind of commingled together in one big circle. And that's essentially how we're going to be able to get our marketing to a better place. Is we can't just say, hey, we're another meme coin. Hey, we're another community. We need purpose, and Friday we're providing that purpose. So I think that's a big thing for everyone to understand too.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Then we have the next question from Johnny No Name. How do you feel about community members collaborating or developing content, additional utility to help the project community?
I think any community member that wants to help this community, grow this community, collaborate with this community is an A+ plan. I have zero doubt in my mind that anything that anyone in this community does would be amazing and an amazing benefit. One thing I will say is, by me saying this, I don't want someone out there to get the wrong idea and try to do something that ends up hurting the community, right? It needs to kind of co in line. So if people have ideas and things, my door is always open, right? This is how I treat my actual business. And there's something that you have your idea on or that you want to do and that you want to run with it. It's a community project, right? I was just asked to be, or not asked. I just kind of organically found myself here, right? So it's one of those things where it's like, I appreciate everyone asking me for my opinion, but if you guys want to collaborate and bring something new to the table, you can ask Deckhand today too. He brought this to me. I said, this is fantastic. I'm slammed at work. I'm not going to get this till tonight, but I will look into it. And we have, plans to talk about that stuff later too. So I think 100% that I'm always open to new things because once again, I'm venturing to new territories as well.
Okay.
But the word collaborating, when you brought up right there, I did want to, bring this up too, because I was hoping we still might touch on this, but, we are a very strong community, right? And sometimes what makes a community stronger is being friends with other communities, right? We do not have any issues in this community being collaborating with other communities and being friends, right? I think the strength is in numbers, and then if you talk to someone and you find that they have good intentions, and I know in this crypto world there's a lot of bad actors and scammers, right? But if there's that
Exactly.
good proper community out there, right, there's no reason why our community can't collaborate with that community and do something exciting. So I just want to say that on the record, because I know through time, it's like, hey, this person or that community or this or that, if someone's a known bad actor, we're gonna say no thank you, right? But if someone's a good actor and they have good intentions and we have mutual ideas and morals and values, then absolutely, I'm more than happy to have collaborative efforts between not just our community but communities, right?
Thank you. That's a great answer. The next question is a question what a lot of community members asking and have a doubt about, Connor. So actually, it's a quite important question. The question is from Frost. It's how can we ensure a lasting community if X keeps us suspending? Like, because the account it's already 2 times suspended. I don't know what was the
Yep.
reason for that. Was that a copyright reason for the name, or was there something against the policy of X that it was like too much promoting a coin in a way to buy it, and that's not allowed in X? Was that the case, or was it the copyright? Do you know how we can protect ourselves to don't lose each time the fully X page, because there was hard work for the X page, people doing hard work, a lot of people come inside, and each time you lose it, you lose a lot of people, because not everybody gonna again follow it, and then you need to start again and again and again. How can we avoid this kind of things? And do you actually know what was the reason?
We need Elon's phone number, I think.
Yeah, well, we have a funny story about that too, actually. So every ban thus far has had a different reason, and the actual ban was actually a suspension. And ironically enough, I believe Jordan did hear back finally today on one of the accounts that got suspended. So good timing on this question.
Okay.
The biggest ban for us, or the suspension for us, was the account that almost got 5,000 followers. Had the gold ticker, it had everything. That suspension was due to us impersonating Lynk. And that's because we had that was just before we adopted the new logo. That's just before all this big change happened. So we were still rocking with some Lynk stuff. We got our coin grew and things like that. So it could have been someone reporting us for impersonation, but essentially we got suspended for impersonation. The one after that, and I think that was that the first? That was the first one that got suspended. The second one after that, Jordan was messaging another Twitter account from the new Twitter account to Twitter support asking for help. And within 30 seconds of him sending that message, the AI bots suspended that account. And he was like, this is just the most absurd thing ever.
True.
So to answer your questions, what are we doing to avoid that in the future? We have essentially taken all the precautionary measures to verify us and the measures that, hey, we are not Lynk. He is his own person. We are a community, and that there's a certain separation of church and state, if you will. And I think we've successfully done that through, changing the name to Hold Lynk, changing everything to, a different profile picture, right? Our bios from the other accounts to this accounts are completely different, right? We have different addresses and verifying identities. Like I believe we use maybe my identity or something instead of Jordan's or something like that in the background. So we're doing things to help avoid that. We're also doing the repairs, if you will, which is, we're going to make sure that we're going to try to get back those accounts, which it's, the fight's not over, right? There's still an opportunity for us to get those back.
Okay, that sounds I think a clear answer. And the next question from Kanachik, it's will this project Link, will it be do something with the NFT, something with some NFT collection what will be linked to Link, or it's not really inside this project?
Yeah, so NFTs are exciting because people, immediately gets paired with, with a project or things like that. Um, we have intentions of doing some sort of NFT in the future, but we want to make sure it's at the right time and it has real reason behind it, right? NFTs are very complex. They can be super simple or they can be very complex. And if we do it, we want to make sure that it co-aligns with our intentions and our goals of everything that's going on. So, am I in this very moment? Do we have a due date for an NFT? The answer is no. But are we having weekly discussions on NFT usage? Yes, we are. And we just want to make sure that it's done at the right time. It comes with the right image and all of that. So it's on the way.
Okay, I think that's a great answer for the NFT for Kanachik. I don't know if you guys have more questions because I think the most important questions were asked to Connor live in live to Connor, and I think he answered all the questions quite clear. And I think everything it's there were good questions. There were everything. The answers were quite good, and I think the most things are clarified what a lot of people had the doubts inside this project. I don't know if there is more questions about it. My question to you, Connor, what do you think about this weekly podcast live show? Do you think this is nice for the community, or do you think maybe it's
I love
better
it.
one and one in the wow, or do you think each Sunday,
I
because the plan is each Sunday? Do you think it's something nice for the community, or and do you want to come sometimes in the podcast to participate in it?
Sure. So first off, I think it's a great idea. It puts not only the community in better contact with one another, but we're able to answer questions. We're able to provide transparency, or we're able to provide, right, a face to a name, right? So now people have a better connection to us. They're not worried about, hey, the charts and you might be in good or bad condition today, right? Hey, the market, the actual crypto market's doing good or bad today. It gives everyone a place to kind of come together in a live action thing and discuss these topics openly, so everyone can get their feelings across too. So I think the podcast is an amazing idea. And thank you both. I know this is the second time that you guys have been on here, and I know T7's been working hard on imaging and getting this set up, and same to Jordan as well, who helped up get this StreamYard account kind of squared away. So the answer to your question is yes. I do like this podcast. I think it's a great idea. It gives us purpose. It gives us reason. It gives us communication. And I would absolutely love to be back on here with you guys at some point. And I'm excited for it. It's like I was thinking over the weekend, what can we do outside of this utility and staking that gives us some purpose and some meaning? And it was kind of a pleasant surprise. At first, I almost pulled my hair out today because I was like, "Oh boy, I have a very busy day today. I don't know how I'm supposed to be at this podcast at 5:45 and have meetings from 9 until 5:30, but we'll figure it out." So
Yeah.
it was, but it was nice to. It's just nice to sit down and talk with you guys. I know I've talked to both of you on the phone many of times before, but it just gives everyone a better connection, and I think it's amazing. So great
Yeah.
job and keep it up.
I think like a T7 and Jordan and Mintlow, they are behind the scenes, and Willie, they I think it's the right people behind the scenes that do the things. Willie is of course in the front of the page, and of course I think it's something very nice to connect this project with other people in the crypto, because the idea actually from T7 is he gonna find a weekly special guest for the Link community. So each week we're gonna have somebody special what will be on the Sunday, and we can have multiply people inside this podcast. For example, when
Yep.
you feel good, Connor, feel welcome to come. Willie, of course, is always on our side, and we're gonna have many special guests and with many good knowledge about crypto, about meme coins, and I think this is the thing what brings Link more near to the crypto scene. I think a lot of people will hear about Link because it will not only be Link talk, it's also generally crypto talk. In the beginning of this podcast, we talked about the sentiment of Bitcoin. We talked about different meme coins. We talked about what is the most probability of the outcome of this year. Will we get an extra super cycle or not? I think this all together, it make it excited for the crypto family, for crypto people, and for Link people, because we also have like a part of Link in it. I think it's actually a perfect thing with a lot of surprises that will come each week. So I think this will grow a lot, and I think it's a very, very positive thing for a serious coin like Link, what have big dreams and big future in front of it. I think it's a perfect moment to end this stream. I want to thank you, Connor, to be a part of the stream, and this is very nice because people learn you like the person Connor. They see your face, they see who is behind this project, they see the honest opinion of you. I think this is really great for any community or any meme coin or any project. And of course, not to forget really the OG from the Doge miners, somebody that is really respected in the scene, would always give his opinion. I think it was a great show. I wish you I wish all the Link family, the crypto family, thank you for watching and tuning in. And thank you, Connor. Thank you, Willie. I think it's a great moment to end it. If you guys want to say something else, please feel welcome to end the stream. And thank you so much, guys.
I think everything you said is great. As always, I like to celebrate wins and exciting things. So I'm going to enjoy the cigar now on the back deck. And I know everything about that, boy.
That's
there
good, man.
There we go. I am excited. I just love the personal connection. And I can't wait for the next one. Thanks so much for hosting us again, Milad.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you, Willie.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy the cigar, Connor. Have a great day. It looks great weather where you are. So thank you so much, family. Thank you so much, Crypto. Thank you so much, Link. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Willie. And to the next episode, guys. Thank you so much. Crypto Milad here. Bye-bye, guys.
Enjoy. Have a great day.
Same, guys. Ciao.